Hi, and welcome to my mental monologue. My name is Shelby Lee Kiles, and with me as always is Chris.
Hello, once again.
Does Americans hate Christians or Christianity? You know, what is your opinion, sir?
Now, I really think, in a way, they do. Christians in today's society, especially amongst young people in the age range of 15 to 25, hate Christians. And I think there's a distinctive reasoning for this. And it's unfair towards what I would call newer Christians or just younger Christians who should grow up in a Christian household. Because in our country, ever since the mid 40s to 50s, we became a large Christian, Judeo Christian nation. We were mostly Judeo Christians. And that over the years has led to almost a culmination of resent amongst people in the younger age groups who think that just because this this one group has held power for so long in the past of our country allows them to just viscerally hate and deject and just cast uh, hatred towards people of the Christian faith nowadays. Because when I was in high school in 2015 through 2019, if you were a Christian, you were a target for bullying. Like people would look at you weird when you told them you were a religious person.
What do you think the reason for that is?
I think mostly it's from the extensive history of Christianity within our country, and people who are raised in that and don't fit in or find a way to accept Christianity into their lives end up resenting it, and they think that gives them a free pass to hate Christians with a vitriol hatred. And it's a very double standard hatred, because you see people who are, and this is I guess mostly this is my personal experiences, but in my high school you would see people of the Muslim faith and people of the Christian faith, and people of the Muslim faith were lauded and held above socially the people of the Christian faith. It was, if you were a Christian, you were considered a pedophile supporter. No, it's, yeah, seriously, like anybody who was Christian or carried Christian values was really looked down upon by everybody. And it's kind of the whipping boy of the new American age. It's, oh, those Bible thumping Christians, this and this and that, when really ultimately if you step back and remove yourself from the situation and look at what the Christians have done in the past 100 years versus what another religion like Islam has done in the past 100 years, they are the most non-violent, pussy-footed do-nothingers that have ever existed. Yes, you go back to the Crusades,
Yeah.
but that was, how long ago was the Crusades?
Well, it's not just
Thousands,
it's not just
hundreds
the
and hundreds
Crusades,
of
though.
years.
It's not just the Crusades, because if you go back, of course you can talk about Constantine and all that stuff, but the point is this, though: they didn't just. It's not the fact that they just persecuted people that weren't Christian. It was the fact that they made people pay for their sins and stuff. They had a list of sins, and they got to pay for them through the church. It's the fact that they held the Bible away from them and stole, stuff out of the book that they thought was useless, that might be useless to somebody. Because to me, all the patriarchs and the matriarchs, I guess you call the females matriarchs, you know, they're all important to me. So when I read it, it means something. And I understand that part where you're saying that you're picked on if you're Christian, because I get crap all the time. And I'm talking
Well,
about
I guess
God,
it's less that you're picked on for being Christian, but when you in a just a purely uh, dialogue kind of conversation between another person, if you are, when you're comparing different religions, in this current day and age, you're not allowed to criticize the failings of other religions such as Islam, Judaism, and anything else. You're only really allowed to focus on and uh, I don't just rail against the Christians when you even try to bring up the simple problems with mass my main comparative point is Islam, because that's Judaism really isn't that talked about in mainstay society nowadays, but it's really Islam versus Christianity at this point, and you're not allowed to point out that the religion of Islam in some countries is what is responsible for the deaths of men and women for very arbitrary reasons. When was the last time in the United States you saw a gay person, a sodomite, or an adultering woman stoned to death or thrown off a building in the streets
But
because
maybe if they was stoned to death, they wouldn't have so much drama and chaos around the damn city. Maybe it put people in their place. Oh, I'm gonna get stoned to death because they think I'm a witch, so
no,
they
but see,
stop
that's
them.
the thing. That's the thing. People look at Christianity and have the same visceral, angry reaction that they would have towards a stoning in the street to simple expression of personal thought. You're not allowed, even if you're like a Christian and you don't support homosexuality, and that's your personal opinion, and you don't let that opinion leak into you accept that it's become law and legal, but you still personally don't accept it, you're going to be looked down upon. Whereas if you're a Muslim and you don't accept homosexuality, you will not be looked down upon, because you're not allowed to look down upon Muslims in
I
this
think
country anymore.
though American religions, are flawed, and I'll just say it because they're trying to connect ties to places that they're not even haven't even been to. You get like people, white folks from the South that's really strict Christian, and they like football and all this jazz, but they never step a foot in Africa or Egypt or Jordan or anything like that, Mecca,
And
all
that
that.
that too,
You
it
know,
does bring to mind
we got
thoughts.
a thing where Americans can go over on a pilgrimage and learn the real stuff in Egypt. Start from Egypt, and then you go all through Mecca and Jordan, all the places Christ walked, and you start to learn more about the religion. And the concept over here is more about, oh, we want to believe in God, and we got the right to believe in Him any kind of way we want. But over there, they got the truth of what humanity is through God, and so they got the Sumerian text, they got the Judas text, they got everything, and so people go on that voyage to know the truth, and so they're thinking about this one's the right faith to follow. No, this one's the right faith to follow. Why over here we're sitting here saying, "Oh, we can believe in this. Oh, let's believe in Star Wars. Let's believe in that."
I
So
and
everything's
I
to
do
avoid the old school stuff.
I see that, and it is really, it's a very vast majority of Christians that I feel paint the entire picture for most people, because you will get those very hypocritical people who take the Bible's word as absolute, uh, just literal, where they say, oh, we need to kill those who sodomize or this and that. When that's and I agree with people who look down upon that, because you oftentimes those people you'll find who are very literal about certain passages of the Bible, they eat shellfish, they mix cloths, they don't follow it to entirety, they pick and choose. But really, when in truth, the vast majority of people are just they are people who have a faith, and they should be left alone and not persecuted for that faith, when they really are right now in this country. If you are a Christian, you're not, people will look at you weird for, if you were to sit down in a restaurant and start praying over your meal, somebody is going to give you a weird look.
Yeah, they get offended quick.
And that's so weird to me. It doesn't feel like
It's
that's
the thing about it. What made it weird is you got all these people who claim to be Jesus, all these different cults, and then
crazy
you
people.
got these all these pedophiles that run around secretly doing stuff. They got
That they need to fix. That they really need to
preacher that
fix.
grabs this chick's boob on, I think it was YouTube or something.
Yeah, no. I will say the Christian church has a lot of issues that they do really need to resolve.
Well, it's not just Christian now. You got to understand different branches, like the Jehovah's Witness. You got Seventh Day Adventists. You got the Baptists. You got
I really only know much about.
So there's so many different forms of Christianity, and all these different forms, someone's does the same sick crap. So many different forms. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna say I'm gonna be a Christian, but which Christian should I be? Oh well, maybe I shouldn't be a Christian at all because they're all doing sick shit. you know.
But that's the thing. Like you're allowed to point out the sick shit of the Christians, but you're not allowed to point out the sick shit of anyone else. Yeah, and my main reason for saying that Christians are hated in this country is mainly solely because you are allowed to point out the failings of the Christian church and all inceptions of that church and laud them and shout them to the public, whereas you are shunned for bringing to light the failings of any other religion. That's my main basis for thinking and my main basis for saying this country hates Christians, because you are allowed to lambast and just throw as much shit at the Christian church as you can, and people will applaud it. Whereas as soon as you start to bring up the failings of any other religion, people will jump on you and call you either nationalistic or just all of the phobias and isms and thatums and thisms. It's you're not allowed to yeah, you're not allowed to show any aversion to a religion in this country other than Christianity, or else you're a xenophobic, Nazi-loving.
I think that is my opinion. Sorry to interrupt your rant.
You're not in.
But I think that a lot of people are traumatized by Christian people. Some of the stuff that I'm telling you, these girls, you watch these stories, it's so damn.
No, I know all about them.
That I don't even like these craps. I don't know why people watch these true crimes and all that, because it's so damn sad and depressing. But there's always some kind of Christian dude, ties up the girl, he's trying to do this to her and trying to convert her from a whore to something.
What I'm saying is I'm aware of all of that happening.
Yeah, but that's what makes people hate Christianity.
I'm not saying that they're not deserving of that hatred. Yes, those things that happened were terrible, but when you say when you bring those things to light, people are happy about it. People, it's good that you've brought these things to light. But when you try to bring similar things to light on any other religion in this country, you're going to face a much higher level of pushback than you would for Christianity. And that's, I guess it's not that this country hates Christianity, but Christianity is held to an absurd double standard as compared to any other religion in the United States.
But Muslims, if you read the Quran, it's actually the same names in the Bible, just different, because it's a different culture. So the names.
And I did study Sharia law. That is some of the most oppressive, hardcore shit that is around.
Well, I'm not trying to. I just
See, we need to have a country where people can denounce the. What are you laughing about?
Because it's just like I got a tongue twister. Okay, I'm trying to state my opinion too about how I feel about this, but it's just because I got a strong belief in God. Unlike most people, my whole brain is ran by the spirit world. So I'm always like, I believe in God in Hebrew sense, because I took Hebrew course for it. I actually almost finished a thing to become a minister, and I did Buddhism, became 10 precepts of 10 great precepts and whatnot. So my faith is strong, but it's not. See, I don't look at it in a religious sense. I look at it as more of a connection to God and the spirit world. And I understand people say that they have a relationship and all this nonsense, but to me, a relationship has to be more physical. So I have a connection to spirit world and stuff. But the thing, I go through persecution as a Christian by I'll say stuff like, just a habit I've just been saying, like, blessings upon you. They'd be like, why are you blessing me? You're the devil.
People get freaked out about it. Yeah. When if somebody were to say an Islamic prayer to you, nobody would freak out.
Yeah, well, assalamu alaikum, salams.
If you said that to somebody out on the street, nobody would think twice about it. But when you say blessings upon you, people get upset.
You know why though? Because the black culture made it look cool. So you'd be like, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, brother. You know what I'm saying? So they make it look cool. See how racist you don't went? See how the white boy got racist?
Hey, Roots was good. Screw you. Roots was fucking awesome.
Roots was good. Ain't that some shit? Mental masturbation.
He was a Muslim.
No.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
in the movie. Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't
Yes, he
twerk
was,
in the movie.
motherfucker. Yeah, I saw
So,
Roots.
Okay. Whatever. You ain't seen Good Time, so what does it matter? You don't
Yes,
know,
I have.
You
I
don't
haven't
know
seen
who J.J. Walker is?
Is he the?
Yeah, see?
Well, hold
Keeping
on.
your head above water, eating your cheese when you get
Eating at a chow line.
You fucked it up.
I did not fuck it up. I was
Look,
watching
man,
the goddamn
we doing,
Chappelle
we
show
doing
and they
it in a
pointed it out.
monologue. We're way off topic.
We are way off topic. But see, that's my thing. I
That's
guess.
the way I'm slick, man. You ain't black enough to stop this shit.
Well, look, I can't pull a reverse Michael Jackson, despite anything you want.
See, that's why I'm the real Kryptonian around this joint, the last fool from the planet Krypton. Kneel before Zod, humans.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Now, what would you do if God came down and he was dressed like Superman? And okay, what if Superman came down? Not even Superman, Zod came down and just did his big ass flying circle shit and made some shit happen and bam, crashed the ground and said, "Kneel before me. I'm Zod, your God." But you know how you do in the movie? He goes, "No, Zod." Right?
I'd probably be like, well, shit, I guess this fucking alien dude is my god now. I'll kneel.
So, but okay, now with that being said, because most people, I got a cousin that will never kneel every time I tell him that scenario. So, the point is this, okay? If God came flying down and did this shit and crashed down like,
I am God.
Right? Everybody gonna bow, right? Because then they see a God.
They're like, oh,
Not
shit.
unless they're too impressed by Marvel movies and DC shows.
I mean, there's definitely going to be a group of people who initially will never kneel, but you also have to think about those who kneel simply kneel so that the resistance carries on.
Kneel before Zod.
Just wait till I find some kryptonite to shove up your asshole.
That's some fucked up shit. God damn it. Look. Okay.
I'll kneel till I can dig through the ground and find the kryptonite. That's the thing, man. Some people kneel out of preservation in order to preserve resistance. Because while, yes, there are the martyrs and the soldiers, some people are simply there for information. You must survive in order to carry on the idea. But holy shit, have we gotten off topic? God damn.
I don't even know where you went with that, but
Me neither.
You went all military and shit. Look,
I think we need to transcend to an energy level existence. We need to leave our human bodies and exist on the fourth dimension, just like Alex Jones says.
We're on another topic about Christians being hated in America.
Christians exist on a massive double standard towards every other religion in this country simply because of their status as the major religion in this country for the past 100 some odd years. And it's not fair to the young Christians of this country to be looked down upon for their religion for the faults of the past.
I don't know. Because, they change so many things all the time.
Why should my friend in high school, Krista, this sweet Christian girl who is one of the nicest human beings I've ever met, be made to feel bad because she believes in a God?
Well, mine history with people.
No. Screw all of that.
No.
Why should this innocent person be made to feel bad for believing in something just because of the faults of people in the past?
I'm not saying she should, but I'm just saying sometimes the most loyal Christian follower is the most wickedest person around.
Well, obviously, you need to.
I've known a couple people that were preachers' kids and so on, and they was the most wildest, craziest shit there was. And people called me a rebel and wild, and those kids was crazy. So, anyway, the whole topic.
The whole thing is fucked. That's what it is. The whole thing is just fucked.
You ruined all this crap.
You ruined it. But you know what? We'll blame it on him.
Well, I don't even know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yes, this was an monologue about people hating Christianity. And the whole thing is, I think everybody's religion should be respected. And
everybody should be respected.
Everybody
no hate.
Should just drop all this
no more hate
baby crap and just come together. And let's all come together under one nation, under a groove, getting down for the funk of it.
That's right.
This is Shelby, and this is an monologue with Chris.
Peace be with y'all.
Blessings.